Okay, so with March right around the corner, new month, fresh start, today we are going to be talking about the most effective 10-point checklist for maximum weight loss that people pay big bucks for to go away for Dr. McDougall's retreat. But today we're going to be discussing what those top 10 things are, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time landing on one of my videos, welcome. My name is Stasia, and today we are going to be getting into a 10-point checklist for maximum weight loss. Now, before we jump into the video, let's talk about the fact that March is right around the corner. And for me, of course, there's no better time than the present, than right now, but there is something, about that fresh start when it's the beginning of a new year or the beginning of a new month, especially if you've fallen off or, just not feeling your normal motivated self, then it's kind of just a nice way to kind of kick up that motivation again and get things moving. Now, my guess is that a lot of you are going to be feeling very motivated after hearing today's video. So to go along with that motivation, I'm going to step that up a notch as well. So as most of you who follow me already know, by the time I release a video, I put all of my weight loss recipe ebooks on sale at 50% off to the first 10 people. The reason why I do this is because I get a lot of DMs, a lot of emails thanking me for this because I know, times are tough, the inflation, all this craziness in the world right now, cost of living is just high. So I do this as a way to help all of you guys out fighting against the inflation and not letting that be the reason why you can't reach your weight loss or health goals. So today's video is no different. By the time it is released, all of my weight loss recipe ebooks will be on sale at 50% off. But the difference today is that I'm going to be putting my bundle book package on sale at 70% off to help those of you trying to get a nice kickstart to that weight loss journey going again for the month of March. That is also going to be on sale to the first 20 people. So that combo package includes my book where I have over 50 oil-free, whole food, plant-based recipes. If you're bored with what you're eating or lost, you just really don't know what to make, you're gonna find some good stuff in there. And I promise you, all of my recipes use real, simple ingredients that you can just find at your grocery store, or I'm gonna bet you might even already have in your fridge. And the other book that package includes is my newest 30 oil-free sauces and dressings recipe ebook. This one is fantastic because sauces are life in this way of eating. So definitely if you need to, bring your meals up to a level 10 and you haven't quite found like the perfect healthy sauces that you can just whip up at home, this book is going to be a lifesaver. So in this package, you will be getting both of these books at 70% off. And again, if you already have one of my recipe ebooks and you haven't got the other one, then those books will also still be on sale at 50% off to the first 10 people. All right, so I really hope that helps some of you guys out. The links to those books can be found in my description box below. All right, so let's get into today's video. It's going to be good. Okay, so I know a lot of you who follow me also follow the Starch Solution, which is a book and diet plan lifestyle that was written by Dr. McDougall. And it's based around eating a whole food, plant-based diet that is oil-free. So even if you're not following the Starch Solution per se, and you are following a plant-based diet, a whole food plant-based diet, and trying to get away from the oils, this video is still going to be for you because there's a lot of good information. So Dr. McDougall has a health retreat, or maybe I should say had a health retreat. I'm not sure if that's still something that he's doing. I want to say he is, but I'm not 100% on that. However, the information we're going to be talking about is actually used at this retreat. So I'm going to actually be going right on the website. I've got my laptop right in front of me here, and I will also have this linked in the description box below if any of you wanted to have a closer look at it yourself. But this is the 10-point checklist used at these retreats. And this was actually created by Jeff Novick, which is Dr. McDougall's registered dietitian. And he's also the one that facilitates the chat forum on Dr. McDougall's website. And along with posting the actual post in my description box below, I will also type out this 10-point checklist in my description box. So if you're watching this from your mobile phone, then you can just do a quick screenshot and then you'll have the list on you as a quick reference point. Okay, so number 1 is to start each meal with a soup and or salad and or fruit. So what is another way of putting that? Preloading. Now, preloading is something I love doing. It's something I talk a lot about on this channel. And all it means is that you're just starting off your meal with a lower calorie density food. Now, the reason that we do this is because, especially when we're hungry, our first instinct is to usually go to the higher calorie density foods and just fill up on them. And when you're trying to lose weight, that is the opposite of what you want to do. So it really helps just to take that edge off if you're really, really hungry, to start off your meal with a soup, salad, or fruit, because all of those things are lower calorie density foods. So here's just the reminder that I was not the creator of preloading. It's just a concept that makes a lot of sense to me. It's something that I personally like doing, and I just found that it wasn't really talked enough about in this way of eating. We always heard about the 50-50 plate. That just blew up in popularity. But in terms of preloading, which is also a pretty significant step or tool for weight loss, it wasn't really talked about as much. So that is actually number one on the list, is start each meal with a soup, salad, or fruit. All right, so number two is to follow the 50-50 plate method for your meals, filling half of your plate by visual volume, not, it don't have to be exact, with non-starchy vegetables, and 50% by visual volume with minimally processed starches. Choose fruit for dessert. So as you can see, they're actually taking it one step further. In my own meal plan, which, by the way, you can also find that in my description box below if you're interested in seeing how I do things, I do just the preloading step where I'm just filling up on the non-starchy vegetables before I sit down to eat my main meal. But here, they're actually doing both. So they're saying to start your entire meal off with that soup, salad, or fruit, and then go on to do the 50-50 plate. Now, I do want to point out that this checklist is for someone interested in maximum weight loss. So this is a little bit more intense than just doing the regular version of the starch solution, or, just generally following a plant-based diet. This is specifically targeted if you are wanting to lose weight at a faster rate for maximum results. So with that being said, this is something that you definitely could do temporarily, or at least until you get closer to your goal weight. This does not have to be the long-term plan. This is like hyper-focusing on your weight loss goals and a tool to get there. Okay, so the third one is to greatly reduce or eliminate added sugars and added salts. This includes gourmet sugars and salts too. If either is troublesome for you, you can eliminate them. So all this basically means is, if you can exit out for the time being, go ahead, and especially if they're problematic for you. So for me, I have a super sweet tooth. So actually greatly reducing my sugar intake has been phenomenal in, helping with my cravings and helping me to eat less. So that's basically all that that's saying, is that if you can reduce your sugars and your salts, then that's going to help you even further. And I can kind of testify that that is true, especially on the sugar front. Okay, so the fourth one, which is a very obvious one in this way of eating, but maybe not so obvious if you are brand new to a plant-based diet, then that would be to eliminate all animal foods, and that includes dairy, meat, eggs, fish, seafood. So I guess for some people that might be new. I know that there's some confusion sometimes even over including a little bit of, fish in the diet. So in this way of eating, and by, these standards, these rules, they're saying to eliminate all animal products from the diet. Okay, so the fifth one is to eliminate all higher fat plant foods. So what would that be? That includes nuts, avocados, seeds. What else do they have? Oh, tofu and soy. So again, this one kind of is a bit of a struggle for me because I do enjoy adding some plant-based fats to my diet. But again, I think this is just very targeted. This can be temporary. This is for, specifically if you're really wanting those maximum weight loss results. But again, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily forever. And the justification behind that is just because even though those higher fat plant foods are really healthy for us, I definitely believe that they have a place in our diet from a nutritional standpoint. They are extremely calorie dense. So when we're speaking just on weight loss alone, eliminating those things, or at least really significantly reducing those foods, are going to make a difference to your overall caloric intake over the course of a day. So that is the reasoning behind them. But again, this is just very targeted. potentially temporary. So that's not to say you have to forever eliminate them, but just if you're really, really hyper focused, it might be a good option. Okay, so moving along to number 7 is to eliminate all higher calorie dense foods, including flour products, example, bread, bagels, muffins, crackers, dry cereals, cookies, cakes, puffed cereals, air popped popcorn, and dried fruit. So again, not that all of these things are extremely horrible for our diet. I mean, I guess some of them in there are, but air popped popcorn, for example, isn't, horrible for us. Dried fruit isn't horrible for us, but they can be on the higher calorie dense side if you're eating too much of this stuff. So with maximum weight loss, there's a heavy focus on just eating the whole food itself, which would be like potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, rice, oatmeal, stuff like that, as opposed to your breads and your crackers and, basically foods that have a high water content in their natural whole state are the ones you're supposed to focus on. All of the other things I just mentioned, would be considered like dry foods. There's not a high water content in those foods because a lot of them are processed. So the calorie density is going to be much higher when you eat them. Okay, so number 8, which is also one that I've recently been starting to practice more and more, is don't drink your calories. This says especially from juices and sugar sweetened beverages. So I know that, we hear that a lot, even in the media and stuff, and other ways of eating. A lot of people know that this is common knowledge to not drink your calories. And the reason why is because when we drink our calories, they don't fill us up. So what ends up happening is you drink it did nothing for your hunger, and then you're still going to have to eat something. So you can see how quickly your calories in the course of a day can add up if we're just focusing just on weight loss alone. So they say it's better not to drink your calories and eat them instead. Now, for me, I do love fresh juices. I also enjoy smoothies from time to time, but when I'm really hyper focused on weight loss, then I do try to stay away from that a little bit, just because they don't keep me full as long as a plate of food would keep me full, or eating that fruit in its whole state would keep me full. So I'm definitely personally on board with this one, and I'm going to suggest maybe you should be too. Okay, so number 9, follow these principles, eating whenever you are hungry until you are comfortably full. Don't starve yourself and don't stuff yourself. So this one, let's pick apart for a second. So first of all, it's saying, to eat whenever you're hungry and until you're comfortably full. I like this because it doesn't promote restriction. So if you're hungry, eat. And that's something that I really talk about on my channel a lot. I don't think restricting yourself to the point that you're hungry, you're going to bed hungry, you're suffering, with hunger to lose weight is the way to go. So I appreciate that there's no restriction. You can eat whenever you want if you're truly hungry. But the second part is until you're comfortably full. So this can be the learning curve for some of us. I know it's been one of my learning curves. Comfortably full doesn't mean, stuffed to the brim where you're uncomfortable, where you're rolling off of the couch or rolling away from the table. That's not what it means. So learning what comfortably full means might take a second for some of us who are not used to what our hunger cues are anymore. But comfortably full, just means that you've had enough. You're no longer feeling hungry, and you probably could eat more if you wanted to, but you don't need to. And yeah, the second part is don't starve yourself and don't stuff yourself. So what that means to me is you just have to kind of find that balance, right? You don't want to eat too much, because sometimes in this way of eating, we've heard some, little mottos going around like, eat as much as you want, eat as much as you want. And for some of us, that can be dangerous territory, because some of us can eat quite a bit, right? And especially if we're eating the higher calorie density foods, that can become problematic. So I think there is a healthy balance between, not starving yourself, but also not overdoing it and stuffing yourself. But yeah, that one's kind of a funny one, because as simple as it sounds, for some of us, it can actually be difficult. And, a lot of us probably wouldn't be in the situations we're in if it was easy, right? So it's just something that you have to be more mindful of, and just kind of retrain those hunger and fullness cues and learn to listen to them again. Okay, so the last one is to avoid being sedentary and aim for at least 30 minutes or more of moderate exercise daily. Example, brisk walking. So again, 30 minutes is very reasonable. For us who don't love exercise, it might not sound very reasonable, but it is. And especially if we're just talking about walking. And again, this is a very targeted tool for maximum weight loss. So it only makes sense that the first 9, checkpoints were all food related, that at least one of them is going to be exercise related. And for a lot of us, we're stuck in this winter weather. So, going outside for a walk right now doesn't seem very attainable. However, don't forget that there's a lot of great YouTube videos that are just like walk at home videos that you can throw on and, walk a mile or walk 2 miles or whatever it is right in the comfort of your home. So moving around more or walking for about 30 minutes a day is the last point on the checklist. Now he does close off the article with one more kind of bonus tip. And that is that any time is a perfect time to add a few more lower calorie density meals to the table. And again, I really appreciate this because it takes us further away from that restriction mentality and, closer to just eating when you want, eating what you want in, moderation and with some balance and common sense. Basically, what that bonus point is that, a lot of times we hear don't eat in the morning, don't eat at night, don't eat all day, one meal a day. Like there's just so much information out there. So with Jeff Novick's recommendations, he's saying that any time is a perfect time to add a few more lower calorie density foods. The lower calorie density foods are not the ones to be worried about. If you're having fruit or you're having non-starchy vegetables, I personally would say eat those whenever you want, however much you want, because with the non-starchy vegetables, they're only 100 calories for an entire pound of them. So you can't really go wrong with that. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. And even fruit is about 300 calories per pound. So, if you're hungry, turning to fruit or turning to those non-starchy veggies is where it's going to be at. And I would not stress about it at all. All right, everyone. So that is the 10-point checklist for maximum weight loss results. Again, I will have this exact article posted in my description box below. I really hope that that's helpful. Sometimes we just need a refresher. I actually had discussed this on my channel maybe like a year or 2 ago, but we forget these points sometimes, and sometimes it's just helpful to be reminded of them. Even for me going through it, it was helpful. I do actually follow a lot of those principles anyways, but I was actually happy to see them in there because I didn't really remember that they were in there. And while we don't need to wait for any special occasion or, summer, spring, all that around the corner, I mean, the sun is shining so beautifully today, it's hard not to be excited about it coming. Anytime is a good time to get healthy and to get fit. But with summer just around the corner, I mean, let's be honest, it is a little bit motivating to kind of kick things into gear. So with March just starting, I hope that if you've fallen off the wagon, or you're just struggling for ideas or motivation, I hope today's video is going to help with that. So again, take advantage of this crazy sale on my weight loss recipe ebooks. They are super, super helpful and they're gonna help you get on track. As well, screenshot or just go to the actual site. It's all gonna be posted in my description box below and follow this 10-point checklist. It's going to help you in the right direction and get things moving again. Let me know in the comments if you've been following this lifestyle for a while, if you remembered all of these things, if you forgot some of them, if you do some of them, or if you don't do any of them. Let me know in the comments. We'll have a full discussion about it down there. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed to my channel, but you do like health and weight loss content following a whole food plant-based diet, then be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see all of you in the next one.